Hey, how's it going everyone? It's me, it's Jinsula. I hope you're having a good day and welcome to today's Pokemon Go video. Okay, so the Pokemon Go community has been needing some good news for quite some time now. Of course, for the last couple of weeks, we've been thinking a lot about the remote raid pass nerfs that Niantic implemented, and it has certainly created a lot of negative sentiments within the Pokemon Go community. Well, looks like Niantic is coming out of the woodwork and providing some good news for upcoming events. I'm going to be talking about all of this in today's video, so let's roll the intro and get right into it. Alright, let's jump right into it. So, for the upcoming Sustainability Week, there's going to be a couple of things that Niantic is implementing that is actually pretty good for Pokemon Go players. First and foremost, we are going to be getting a research day on Sunday, and it's going to feature both Galarian Stunfisk and regular Stunfisk, and their shiny forms are also going to be available as well. Now, I'm a big fan of limited research days, mainly because it is another form of gameplay aside from community days that features a particular shiny, and this time around, it's for some pretty relevant Pokemon. For anyone that is familiar with the Go Battle League, they would tell you that Galarian Stunfisk is one of the most powerful Pokemon in multiple leagues, and for you to be able to get a whole bunch of these through For you to be able to pick up a bunch of these through this limited research day, along with the potential for its shiny form, that is going to be pretty big if you are looking to jump into the Go Battle League. As of right now, the regular Stunfisk is going to be getting its shiny debut, which is pretty cool because a lot of players have been wondering why this particular shiny hasn't been in the game yet, and that is of course because Galarian Stunfisk has had its shiny form for quite some time now. So yeah, for shiny hunters, this is going to be a pretty exciting time, especially for those who are engaged in the Go Battle League. Of course, when it comes to Galarian Stunfisk, if you want to use it in the Great League, you will want one that is going to have PvP IVs. But unfortunately, you will not be able to get that through this limited research day, considering that every Stunfisk you get from those research tasks is going to have an IV floor that's going to be a lot higher than you would want. But regardless of that, you could actually trade with other players and possibly get those PvP IVs. So in general, it's still a really good event. And call it for what it's worth, this is actually a pretty solid event, and Pokemon Go has been pretty stagnant for the last 2 weeks ever since the remote raid pass nerfs, so any form of exciting content is certainly welcome. Now, of course, with limited research days, there is the one issue that it is contingent on how many Pokestops are near you. So if you live in a rural area or you are disabled, unfortunately, you will not have a good time during this event. But at the very least, for people who do have Pokestops around you, make sure you plan to attend those areas for this particular event. If you have the means to do so, I would suggest going to a major city where there's plenty of Pokestops and spawns, because that is how you're going to maximize this event and collect as many shinies as you possibly can. Considering that there's 2 Pokemon that's going to be featured for this limited research day, you will want to plan accordingly. Now, this isn't the only announcement that was actually some really good news. For anyone who attended Pokemon Go Fest last year, they were able to pick up a Shaman, which is a mythical Pokemon, and looks like now it's going to be released globally. Yes, that's right. If you want a Shaman but you did not do anything with Pokemon Go Fest last year, well, you're going to be able to get this Pokemon finally, and it's not going to cost you anything. And supposedly, even people who did catch Shaman last year, they're going to be able to catch a second one. So if you wanted some high IVs for this particular Pokemon, well, you're gonna get a second go at it. Now, Niantic had every opportunity to lock this behind a paywall, which they didn't, so this decision was actually a pretty consumer-friendly move, and it's something that they haven't done in several years. So I really like the fact that Niantic is kind of going back to that, but I'm wondering if they are only doing this mainly because players have been complaining for the last 2 weeks regarding the remote raid pass nerfs. I'm not even sure if this was something that was pre-planned, but at the very least, we are all going to be able to get a free Shaman. We don't know any details regarding how we will be able to obtain it, but from the looks of it, it's going to be through a special research that is not time limited. So if you want this mythical Pokemon, all you have to do is log into the game once this special research goes live, and you will be able to pick it up and you can complete it at any time. But do keep in mind that some of the tasks of this special research will likely be geared towards the Sustainability Week event that it's going to be featured in. And this is something that could be detrimental for you if you choose to ignore it. I mean, just ask any player who's been stuck on trying to get a snapshot of Landoras for the past year. Yeah, it can be extremely frustrating, so make sure you complete the special research as soon as you get it, because there's no telling that some of those steps are going to be impossible once the Sustainability Week ends. So yeah, these are the bits of good news that Niantic shared yesterday that I wanted to talk about, but you know, we really can't overshadow some of the problems that's currently been going on in Pokemon Go. I've talked ad nauseum about the Heroes Niantic movement and the remote raid pass nerfs, but something else I wanted to point out that I found to be really concerning was actually something that Billy posted yesterday in his video. And in case you don't know who Billy is, he's the Trainer Club. He's a YouTuber that is actually Niantic's poster boy right now. They had him as a featured creator for the meet and greet portion of the Hoenn Las Vegas event. And yeah, he's developed a strong connection with Niantic, but he's also been at the forefront of the Heroes Niantic movement, and it's been his mission to actually talk to Niantic and get them to listen to the community regarding some of these issues. And something he said in his video yesterday that I found to be extremely concerning was in regards to the layoffs that Niantic executed last year. It seems like the most passionate people at Niantic were the ones that got cut. I think a lot of players have been wondering if Niantic even cares about Pokemon Go, or if any of them even play Pokemon Go. Well, as it turns out, there were people at Niantic who were obsessed with Pokemon Go, but it looks like most of them are the ones that got laid off. So I think that's extremely concerning, considering that Niantic is kind of stretching the studio really thin right now by having all of these side projects, and for them to lose some of the most passionate Pokemon Go players in their development team, yeah, that is why there's probably a huge disconnect between the Pokemon Go community and Niantic right now. So yeah, even though we're getting a bunch of good news, I don't want any of that to kind of overshadow some of the problems that are currently going on in Niantic. I really think we as a community, if we are against some of Niantic's decisions as of late, then we need to continue putting on that pressure and continuing to voice our concerns so that Niantic will eventually hear us. They can't ignore us forever, and even if they do, we just need to go louder, and we just need to be more consistent. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about that. And one final thing that I wanted to talk about that I really hope Niantic gets their act together on is in regards to announcing these events with incorrect information. Of course, we're in the midst of the Sustainability Week, which should have started today by the time you watch this video, and there were a lot of things that were initially announced that ended up not being true for the final cut of this event. In particular, what am I talking about? Well, I've already mentioned this in a previous video, but they actually listed a bunch of special spawns hatching out of 2-kilometer eggs, but they eventually changed it to 7-kilometer eggs, which is extremely frustrating for the Pokemon Go community. But recently, it was discovered that one of the bonuses that a lot of players were looking forward to, in particular a half-distance requirement for getting candies from your buddies, like, that was apparently not meant to be a part of this event. I really think this is something that Niantic needs to watch out for because, like I've been saying, Niantic is treading on really thin ice right now. So any wrong move that they commit, it's going to look even more worse than it needs to in the Pokemon Go community's eyes. So yeah, Niantic, if I were you, I would be extremely cautious with everything that you're doing right now and try to create more positivity with some of these positive announcements. But in any case, yeah, that's really all I have to say regarding everything that's currently going on in Pokemon Go, and of course there is a lot going on right now, so I would love to know your thoughts, and you can share them down below in the comments. Let's have a great discussion, I really think we can, and make sure we keep it civil as well, because I've noticed that my comment section has been filled with a lot of different views, and I actually welcome that because it creates a lot of good discussions, and I really think if we want to be constructive, we need to be willing to listen to the other side. I know I can get pretty passionate about my viewpoints on everything that's been going on, but I really do think it is beneficial for myself and for others who think like me that we hear what other people are thinking so that we can come up with a solution that will be more realistic and a lot more objective. But Yeah, I'm kind of rambling at this point, but that's going to be it for this video. If you ended up enjoying it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And don't forget that little bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support my channel in any way, big or small, then do consider checking out the links in the description below. For all my patrons, they get a permanent spot on my in-game friends list. So if you want to interact with me in some way, like with remote raids, then do consider becoming a patron on my Patreon. But yeah, that's going to be it. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.